Welcome, everybody, to Cinema Royale. I am Travis Hobson of PunchdrunkCritics.com, and this is, of course, the official podcast of PunchdrunkCritics.com. And joining me this week is Julian Lytle. We're going to be talking Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I feel like when you say the title, you need to say Shazam, with a big exclamation point at the end, because otherwise it sounds kind of
They sold it like that for so long. It's ingrained in
exactly.
people's heads.
Exactly.
So
I like that though. It gets you hyped to talk about the movie, but is the movie any good though? See, here's the thing. Shazam Fury of the Gods is coming out in a pretty sketchy time for the future of DC Comics movies. James Gunn's taken over, him and Peter Safran. They're starting the new DCU as part of DC Studios. And so you got this entire year of DC movies coming out, and all of them we don't know what their future is basically. And Shazam is the first. It's a sequel to the 2019 film, which a lot of people like. It wasn't a huge hit or anything, but it was fun. It was lighthearted. Zachary Levi seems perfectly cast as Shazam. A lot of things to like about the first movie. The sequel brings in more characters. Of course, the rest of the Marvel family are here. They've all got their own powers now, based on the events of the last film. Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegler play the daughters of Atlas, actual gods. Not just people toying around with godlike powers. Actual gods who are here to avenge their father Atlas and basically bring ruin to the world. You also got Djimon Hounsou as the Wizard Shazam. I kind of like that they made him more of a comic relief character in this movie, because as me and our friend Shireen and Tim Gordon were whispering about during the movie, he's a terrible wizard, and he needs to stop. He needs to stop giving away these powers to people that end up not being worthy of them. Seems to be a track record for him. He spends most of the movie complaining about the fact that he gave his powers to kids, while at the same time hoping those kids will come save his ass.
one of my many issues with this movie.
This sequel, man. We look. You and I were all there at the same screening. I don't think any of us were feeling it. There were no laughs during the screening. Nobody laughed really during this screening at all. None of us really. And this movie leans hard on the comedy, probably too hard on the comedy, trying to make it funny. But I think they made Shazam kind of obnoxious in the result of doing that, because I didn't really like him that much. Not like I did in the first movie. He just seemed kind of like a jerk in some cases. I know that you're trying to capture the teen sense of humor and everything, but I think it would have been a lot better if we had seen Billy Batson doing that and not so much Shazam. Like I said, he comes off as a bit obnoxious to me. But what were your initial thoughts on Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
My initial thoughts was
The hesitation said a lot.
what's that scene from The Godfather when Marlon Brando walks in after Sonny gets shot up? It's like, what have they done to my beautiful
boy? To my boy?
I was like, what did they do? Why did y'all do this to my boy? The original Captain Marvel, Shazam. The first thing is that the actor who plays Billy and Zachary Levi are playing the same character. When you see Billy on the screen, the little bit you actually see him on the screen,
he's not in it much.
He's really a more mature, what you expect from a 17-and-a-half-year-old high school senior. And then Zachary Levi is playing basically a 14-year-old,
right,
in a grown man's body. I was like, this ain't really adding up. But okay. And then the daughters of Atlas. I don't wait. What did you? When did Atlas become the caretaker of the gods? I'm like, he holds the earth up. I don't understand. I was sitting there. I was like, I don't know why he's an issue, and I barely remembered the staff. I was like, oh yeah, the staff was at the last movie. He broke it.
Yeah,
and
I forgot about that too.
And I was like, what did that have anything to do with Matt? So for me, the crux of the movie makes no sense, because it takes place in the same thing as the other movies. And if you tell me that there's no magic, but I've seen Wonder Woman do a whole bunch of things, and I know Black Adam exists, and I know Aquaman has magic trident, Of course, it's magic. What do you
I,
mean? There's no gods? Wonder Woman's flying around for like 100 years, is doing all things in every type of decade, and
well, it contradicts itself within the movie because
it,
Wonder Woman, and most people already know because they've spoiled it in the trailers.
yeah.
Wonder Woman shows up in the movie, so it's like, I mean,
But
they contradict themselves during the movie.
they contradict themselves because like the not even to really say what happens, but the end of the movie made it so that it should have never been a movie because the solution could have been solved in 15 minutes if somebody would just ask somebody a question. And then, like, as much as I enjoyed Jamal Hansu having fun, trying to be funny with what he had,
Yeah.
like, why you gotta play out my man the wizard? Like the wizard who helps dictate like the massive stuff of like the whole DC universe is like him and Ganthet and Highfather and like all these people just sit around and just like, yo, bad things about to happen. Let's make sure like Darkseid doesn't win, or oh no, the crisis is coming. We gotta tell the like, but he's out here just I don't know what spells are. Like, what do you mean you don't know what spells are? You're the wizard, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? I don't understand. I don't even understand. Like Helen Mirren is like she was the heavy and then she wasn't the heavy no more. I'm like, oh, Lucy Liu is there's a dragon and it's wood somehow, but and they don't punch it in the face. They could. Why didn't they just punch it in the face altogether? Like it would have been like Travis, Travis. All they had to do was have Mr. Mind and the Monster Society of Evil. You showed Mr. Mind in the last end of the last
that was
movie,
weird too.
and you don't have to make anything up. I don't need you to make up the Daughters of Atlas and all. Just just do what's already there. But then you're gonna do all this, and then you're gonna have a teaser for a movie that y'all ain't gonna get to make. Like,
Yeah. See, that's the thing. So that's where I'm confused. Okay, so yeah, at the end of the movie, we got the Mr. Mind teaser and all that kind of stuff. That has nothing to do with the story at all. Like
zero.
they just like they pretended it didn't happen, uh, which tells me that this sequel might have been, I don't know, like a prospect that they maybe should not have jumped into right from the beginning. Like if you didn't have faith in the story you're already teasing, then why did you do this one? I don't get it. Like I don't understand it. But
I don't understand how you don't have faith in the Marvel family fighting alligator men and giant monsters. What
right,
do you mean? Who wouldn't want to see them fight a kaiju?
right.
What do you
Yeah, I don't get it.
with a little worm with a bullhorn? So that's comedy. It solves itself. I don't under. They were trying to fix a problem that they already had a solution for. It's like math mathematics. Like I give them a D. Like what are you doing? Like if I'm a teacher, where's my glasses and my D plus? You just trash.
I
Like
actually kind of liked Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. I actually thought their characters were okay.
I
They
don't hate them.
weren't. They just it's just the Daughters of Atlas weren't particularly interesting. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up this whole sibling dynamic so you could see like how the Marvel family treats one another as siblings and how the Daughters of Atlas treat one another as siblings. There's a lot of backstabbing and betrayal on the villainous side, for obviously, and there's a lot of insecurity and trust issues on the other side as well. But ultimately, they treat one another as a family, and that's the dynamic they were going for. Maybe they felt they couldn't do that with the way that the first movie teased for the sequel. Maybe they felt they couldn't mix that story. They couldn't get that story in there. I don't know why they couldn't have. They could have done it,
I don't know. Like
but
it's not that hard, Travis. It's like I don't. What do you mean? Like to get new people in the room. That's my thing. Like if they can't thread the needle, there's a whole bunch of people that work at the sister, well, whatever, DC Comics. They can figure it out for you. They've already got it. They can have them write the treatment. There you go. Here, follow these rules.
Yeah, I mean they could have done it. They could have set up the interplay between the Marvel siblings just as well, doing almost any other story. They didn't have to draw the parallel. Like we didn't have to see that. They could have told that story anyway. But
It was
it was odd. It was very odd. What did you think about Zachary Levi this time, because I look, I like him, and I like him in this role, but I felt like as much as I liked him, and he does bring a certain boyish charm and innocence to a lot of the film, and I think that's great. But I just didn't feel like this was the best for him. Like, I think the screenplay hurt him a lot.
Yeah, but because I think the biggest issue is the fact that they should never, and this is a personal bias, Billy Batson should never be 18 years old.
Mm,
So um they kind of shot themselves in the foot by casting a younger actor that was as old as he was when they did the first one.
right.
Because like Billy Batson should be a kid. It's one thing where his big dynamic is like, oh no, like I'm going to high school and Mary's graduating. I'm like, okay, then you could deal with his issues of like the family breaking apart that way. But he shouldn't be that old because the consistency between Billy, the little bit he's in the movie, and Billy is Shazam is just not. Because I don't feel like they were playing the same character. And I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy Adrian Brody as Freddy, Captain
Adam
Every
Brody.
Power.
Yeah,
Adam Brody, my bad, as
every
Captain Every Power.
Captain Every Power.
Um, I think he had a better dynamic because to me, they were playing the same person in different bodies.
Right. Well, you could
Better,
understand why Freddie Freeman, well, crippled Freddie Freeman wouldn't have confidence, but he does have confidence as Captain Everything.
yeah.
Like, you could understand why he might pump himself up when he's in superhero mode. You can kind of see that. I don't understand the dynamic between Billy Batson and Shazam. It didn't seem to make much sense to me. They felt like you said earlier, like two completely different characters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah. I have other issues that goes down to the core conceit of where they based this version of the character off of and why they chose. Like, I was never a big fan of the big with superpowers,
right?
Because there's a two different ideologies about Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. Mm-hmm. It's the one where they're two different people and they switch places, and then one where he's a little kid and now he's an adult.
This is what I was going to ask you about, because Captain Marvel Shazam is a blind spot for me, admittedly.
Yeah.
So it's like I never quite understood like does he not age? Like, you were just saying he should never be 18. I'm like, well, he has to grow up at some point, doesn't he?
No, they don't, because there's a crisis every generation. What do you mean? Like, Batman's been 35 to
yeah,
38.
If you're going to reboot things like every few years, then maybe he doesn't. But I mean, but if things were going for more than just a couple of years, at some point he has to grow beyond 18, right? Like, you would think so.
Yeah, but usually he's like 8 to 10 years old. Like, it's like he's not like already like a high school sophomore when he gets the powers. He's like literally like, that's why he was picked. It's like the purity of a child. And
it's almost like the character, like if I was a wizard, I'd be like there's an age limit to playing Shazam. Like once the character reaches 18, the power transfers to a new kid who's pure of heart. Like, that's kind of the way I imagine like it should be. Or like you mentioned before, where they swap out and they're two different people, kind of like Marvel did with their Captain Marvel.
which was
him and Rick Jones.
If you know the history of the character, in which they bought the trademark after DC sued that company out of business, but they didn't, when they bought it, they didn't, a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo or mess up. Well, yeah, Marvel did that on purpose. They're like, Rick Jones, which is a young person, and the wise hero, they switched places. They did that on purpose.
Yep.
So it was a wink and a nod to what original Otto Binder Big Red Cheese Captain Marvel was supposed to be. And I always found that more interesting as I grew up reading different versions of the character, because Captain Marvel is supposed to like Billy's dad. So it's not supposed to be him as a grown-up. He's an orphan. He doesn't have his father. So his idea, like, Captain Marvel ends up looking just like his father. Mm-hmm. So it goes to this thing. Even they bring it up as like he doesn't know. Like, the first movie he met his mom, she was terrible. I hated that. But I can't be like, it was comic book accurate at the time. That's the New 52 version of the character. That's the Jeff Johns version of the character. So I was like, okay, at least it's correct. But when they bring up like, oh yeah, he doesn't know his dad. Like, you have a perfectly out right here. Is like, how come Billy and Shazam doesn't really look alike? That's because Shazam looks like his dad. Like, he never meets his dad because his dad died. Like, there's a whole bunch of other things, the way it ties in the Black Adam, and there's a bunch of mistakes here in terms of this sub franchise in regards to the Shazam family that is just a mess up of egos, uh, power plays, drop balls, bad. Like it's a whole issues with Superman, like a whole bunch of stuff that I could just be fixed. To some of it, just like if people didn't get so arrogant about what they wanted to do, then this movie could have been really fixed by having the most electrifying man of all entertainment in it for 5 seconds to clear up some things. They were like, oh, okay. Like, but hey, people got egos. People want some power plays. People want to be the boss.
Right. Right.
At the cost of Shazam. At the end, at the cost of Shazam.
Right. Yeah, no, it's crazy when you think about the beginning of these movies. Dwayne Johnson could have played Shazam if he wanted to, but he chose to play Black Adam, and and that we know how that went. I still don't think that movie's that terrible, but
it's not. But we are skewed. I dare someone to tell me that Ant-Man 3 is better than Black Adam. I dare them. I will laugh in their face.
I agree. I actually think Black Adam's better.
Black Adam's way better. I would buy that on Steelbook just cause I'm so mad at Ant-Man 3.
What did you think of the visual effects in this movie? I thought some of them were better. It's still, and I don't think this was a Regal Gallery Place thing, although Regal Gallery Place has this problem too. It felt dark. It felt dark. It felt like it was underlit.
I was like, yo, what's up with that lamp y'all got back there? But then again, you get to the last third of the movie, it's just like, and I got great eyes. I can see a lot. And I was like, yo, what is going on these last 15 minutes? I can't see Jack. What did y'all, why did y'all do this with this wooden dragon? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't get it.
Wooden dragon looked cool. I thought the final fight was actually pretty decent.
I just want it lit better. It's nothing that the Wind Dragon is bad, but it's just like I would like to see this model more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when it came out the house, when it was like coming through the floors, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is spicy.
Yeah.
And then you get to the last part, it's just like, yo, why can't I see anything? Why did y'all make this decision?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. And I've heard from some others that theirs seemed underlit too. So it might be an actual way they chose to shoot it, which I don't understand, honestly, especially for a movie that's with all these colorful characters flying around in it.
Yeah. The Rachel Zegler Anthea powers of like reworking reality that looked great. The Helen Mirren powers was kind of basic. I was like, okay, they didn't use much imagination, but that reworking the city and put things around, I was like, okay.
It kind of looked Inceptionist the way, Inception-esque the way she was doing it. I thought that looked cool too.
The transformations work too. Like they didn't, it's a good henshin pose. They lighten new people. They get their they color coordinate like Super Sentai Power Rangers. It's like Billy the leader, Barry's number 2.
It bugs me that this sequel is as like it's not atrocious or anything. Like it'll be entertaining to my friends when they go see it this weekend. But it's like it bugs me because there's so much potential in the Marvel family, like on the big screen. Like just look at the image behind me. They look cool as shit. Like they look super cool back there, and there's no other team like that. Like in movies, like there's no family team like until Fantastic Four comes around. There's no like family of superheroes really like this. I don't count the Incredibles, but we're talking about in comic books. And they look cool. They're a dynamic that we don't have anywhere else. There's so much potential in it, and I kind of want James Gunn to keep it going because of that. But I feel like there needs to be some sort of step made to change who's like. I like David F. Sandberg in general as a director, but I kind of want somebody a little bit more dynamic, and I definitely want a new screenwriter. I just do something to take this idea to its fullest potential.
I think the biggest problem with Shazam is the movie fell into the same traps as the character does in the comics. So part of me can't be too mad at the filmmakers in the movie because there's so many starts and stops. Like that I've bought, and it is they change over to a new team and a new number one, and I'm like, this ain't it. Y'all don't really get it. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. And so, like right now, they're about to start a new one. Mark Waid is on it, but I trust Waid. I've seen him write Billy before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wrote Kingdom Come. He knows how to write.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel and Shazam and all that. He knows. But there's been other ones. I'm like, nah, this ain't it, champ. Like you don't get it. Something about it you ain't. And the movie falls prey to that. That's the most interesting thing I think about the DC movies is that the movies actually feel more like the comics because sometimes it's just like y'all gave it a good shot, but it's not it because it's not this one big directing hand. Where I guess to me, like Marvel MCU just feels monotonous, like the '80s Marvel, like Kevin Feige's Jim Shooter. I know what I'm going to get. It's a consistency. I may not rock with it, but he's a heavy hand. Heavy hand is involved, and I'm like, y'all need some new ideas in here. But
yeah,
I wish this because it's like like I'm a stand for like the characters that people don't really rock with, like Billy Batson, the New Gods. I'm out here like I'm ready for this Blue Beetle, like the stuff they like. People like I want Superman. I need more Batman. It's like nah, bro. Big Red Cheese right there. He can change the game. You don't get Ultraman without Billy Batson. You don't get He-Man. Anytime you see a character say a magic, some type of word, and something hit him, and they transform into another person, that's Shazam. He's the first. And it's like y'all got to try harder. It's right there. Like maybe he'll survive the whatever changes into the DCU, which is the most DC thing ever to like reboot, but some things carry over, and he can still. I think him, Mary, and Freddie are really strong, and Megan Good is great. She captures that little girl the best.
Megan Good in these movies.
She's so good.
Yeah, I love her in these movies. I like the Marvel family, and I want them to stick around. I like I said, I think there's a lot they can do, and I agree with you. I want to see what James Gunn does because I think these movies have needed like a real overseer, like someone who can do like, okay, this is the direction we're going. These are the direction all these characters are going. Let's stick with it.
Yeah.
And James Gunn seems like the kind of guy who can do that.
So hope. There's hope. There's hope there. There's hope there.
I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to see what he does with other characters. I'm a fan of Mr. Terrific and the JSA and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to see what he does with those. Peacemaker, it was like he's sticking around, stuff like that.
And Amanda Waller, and clearly, like I have a feeling that the mid credit scene leaves us like, okay, so Zachary Levi still might be here.
It looks like
it can still work its way out. I got my fingers crossed for him and Jaime. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Blue Beetle could make it through. He's not connected to nothing yet.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Even if this movie isn't the success that I think we both hoped it would be, it seems like when they came into Shazam, they were aiming low, like right from the beginning.
Yeah,
they were aiming low from the beginning, and they've kind of stayed that way, and that's
yeah. They're not shooting for $1 billion. They're like, we can make a cool 300.
Right.
Good.
Right. And if you aim low, you're probably going to hit low. I mean, it's just the way it is, especially with superhero movies. So, I want to see them aim big for Shazam, for everything. So
just aim the Ant-Man level. If Ant-Man can make $500 million, just aim for that. If they can put that out, that mess that they put out, and they still get $500 million, come on, y'all can. It's a little, just come on, just give me my monsters, my Monster Society Evil, Mr. Mind with the bullhorn. Come, he's right there. You set it up. It's right there. It's right there. There's alligators in suits.
See, that seems like something Gunn would like, because isn't he doing like a creature thing?
Well, the Creature Commandos, it's an animated series.
Creature Commandos.
It's going to come out before the movie.
Yeah, which I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, but like, come on, man, alligators in suits, yoking people up, like, you know what I'm saying, robbing people. Like, come on, like what? Kids will love that. Adults will love that.
We got Skittle eating unicorns in this one, so yeah.
That was the commercial was funny. Like they could go and put that on TV, and that would be fine. But still, like, I just want Monster Society Evil, man. I got simple pleasures, man.
Oh man, Shazam! Fury of the Gods is in theaters tomorrow, or actually when you'll see this, it'll probably be today, March 17th. So go and check that out. Julian Lytle, thank you, man, for joining me on this episode of Cinema Royale. Like I said, you're the guy I turn to for these DC Comics movies, man. You're my pro in my back pocket for these, so I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Tell people where they can find your stuff at, man.
I'm on social media, Julian Lytle, on all their platforms. My stuff right now is part of Geek Girl Ride, which is a radio show on Adobe Radio. And I've been doing some other side reviews on my podcast, Ignorant Bliss, which you can find on all the podcast platforms. Yeah, man, I gotta, get some things back up there,
Nice.
Keep all my eggs in many baskets instead of one basket, gotta do some things.
All right. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Travis Hobson. This has been Cinema Royale. You can find me every day at punchdrunkcritics.com. And then you live in the DC area, loads of other places too. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you about all that stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Goodbye. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.